What's up, everybody? It is Broken Havoc right here on the Broken Havoc podcast, here to review Monday Night Raw from July 12th, 2021. Yes, again, I'm filming these videos quite late because of my scheduling and all the things that's going on right now because I'm on vacation. But, of course, this is the go-home show and the final ThunderDome show for WWE before WWE goes back on the road. Of course, SmackDown had their final show, and their first show back on the road is going to be this coming Friday, so it's going to be tomorrow, which I am extremely excited to see what goes down in that show. AEW is already on the road. Of course, we had Fyter Fest Night 1, which I will say this because I'm filming my Raw review and my Dynamite review back-to-back. So, yeah, I'm going to be uploading those two videos at the same time, but I will say this, just to get it out there. Fyter Fest Night 1 was an amazing show from top to bottom. Every match absolutely killed it. It was awesome. I really enjoyed the show. The feud with Cody and Malachi Black was intense. You know, they're building up to that match. Of course, most likely they're going to be having that match at All Out September 5th. But overall thoughts, you know, Fyter Fest Night 1 was awesome. Be on the lookout for my Fyter Fest review right after this Raw review, so keep that in mind. But let's discuss Raw. Of course, Raw was your typical shit show. We had rematches, stuff we didn't even care about, and just booking that made absolutely no sense. The only good things, if anything, the only good thing in this show was the closing segment with the VIP Lounge and Bobby Lashley just running Rampage and just really getting all serious and stuff. That I actually really enjoyed that segment, but I'll explain it later. But our first match of the evening was a rematch. We've seen this match before, of course. We had the Hell in a Cell match with Bobby Lashley and Xavier Woods. That's what we had in this show. Why are we having a rematch with Xavier Woods and Bobby Lashley? I do not know why. The match was not bad, but the booking decision, especially, you know, the finish, was really stupid on WWE's part. But the match starts. Of course, Lashley plants Woods to the mat. We get a step-up senton from the top of Lashley by Xavier Woods. We get a cover and day near fall. Woods works on Lashley. Lashley picks up Woods and drops Woods outside of the ring. Drops Woods to the steel steps. Lashley works on Woods back from commercial break. Tries to spear Woods, but misses. Woods hits a super kick after that. Then a tornado DDT by Xavier Woods on Bobby Lashley. Then we get a somersault over the top rope by Xavier Woods on Lashley. We get a step up enziguri on the apron by Woods. A missile dropkick from the top by Woods. We get a cover and a near fall. Woods applies the crossface. Lashley after that plants Woods to the mat, escaping the crossface submission. Lashley drops Woods after. Woods escapes, but Lashley plants Woods to the mat again. Drops Woods again, sends Woods to the outside, picks up Woods on the outside and takes him to the ring post. Lashley after that spears Xavier Woods. Then, after hitting the spear out of nowhere, Xavier Woods applies the inside cradle pinfall attempt and actually pins Bobby Lashley. What are my thoughts? This was a really stupid booking decision on WWE's part, mainly because of the fact that it's basically 50-50 booking, considering the fact that they had a Hell in a Cell match a couple weeks ago on Raw, and Bobby Lashley beat him. Now you're going to have Xavier Woods beat Lashley. That's 50-50 booking. Not only that, it's really stupid to have your champion get pinned on television, knowing that you're booking a freaking pay-per-view match that is coming up this Sunday in front of live fans. So, what are my thoughts? I thought this was really stupid. You know, the champion losing on television is really dumb. I mean, they did this with the women's tag team champions on SmackDown as well, with Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox. But about that situation, it was kind of a lose-lose situation booking-wise, I said on my SmackDown review, because of the fact that you have people that you're calling up from NXT, and you want to make them look good, so you have to have them win the match. But at the same time, you're booking a match with them and also your tag team champions, and you don't want to have your champions lose, but you had your champions lose anyway. So it was kind of a lose-lose situation on that portion. But in this portion, I feel like Lashley, you know, booking him to lose on television is really stupid. I mean, it just makes him look inferior, in my opinion. MVP's backstage says that Lashley did lose, but he says that it's not a big deal, and says that he'll guarantee he'll be fine and will be in the VIP lounge later on tonight. Alexa's Playground with Eva Marie and Dewdrop, or Piper Niven. So Bliss says that she likes the name Dewdrop and asks Dewdrop about her experience on Raw. Eva answers and talks about the quote-unquote victory last week and says that she is the star of Raw. Yeah, you're the star of the worst show in the history of professional wrestling. Eva basically does not like the setting and says leaving, and basically she does not like the setting and leaves and says that the evolution, I should say, deserves more. What are my thoughts? Overscripted garbage. I mean, as I stated on Mason T-Bar, they are the overscripted jobber kings. This is overscripted garbage. I mean, come on now, really? All right, Jinder Mahal talks about last week, and he's with his henchmen, and says that he may have taken things a little too far by taking his sword. Says that he's going to extend an olive branch and call out McIntyre. Says he will apologize and shakes his hand and give back his sword. Then he repeatedly calls out Drew's name because he's trying to call him out. Then all of a sudden, your typical babyface, the storyteller, the guy that loves telling stories, Drew McIntyre, is on the Titantron and says that he is a lying bastard. Jinder reveals the sword to be broken after that. Drew has the sword, the actual sword. And McIntyre is going... He basically goes after Jinder Mahal's bike. And what happens is that he does what a typical babyface would do and destroy the heel's bike. Great. We've seen this before on many different occasions, many, many times. Of course, I remember Kofi Kingston destroying Randy Orton's, I think it was new sports car. I don't even remember. That was a long, long time ago, like over 10 years ago. But, I mean, we've seen this type of segment before, and most likely we're going to have Mahal cost McIntyre the Money in the Bank ladder match, and it's probably going to lead to a match at SummerSlam, and Drew McIntyre is basically going to be off the title picture for a couple months. That's my assumption, which is a good thing because I'm still a fan of McIntyre. I just do not like the way that WWE loves booking their baby faces. I mean, you have to do you can't overscript them. Not only that, do the same thing over and over again with your baby faces. WWE has a mentality of, hey, let's, this worked really well. Let's do it over and over and over again, and we can just, go on from there on out. It can't work that way. One's enough. And then you can't, when you constantly repeat yourself on doing the same thing over and over again, fans are going to get tired of it. Why do you think fans turn on babyfaces in WWE so often? It's because we see the same garbage over and over again. Not because fans, now granted, fans can be fickle, but at the same time, I mean, you got to blame it on WWE's part, mainly because of the fact that they don't book their baby faces right. Literally, it's the same crap over and over again with these people. They literally grab something that is working well, that fans are actually loving, but then once they do it too often and they just keep repeating it every single week, fans get tired of it, and I don't blame them. I kind of get tired of it, and I'm like, all right, we've seen this already. Give me something new, All right, Nikki Cross with Riddle and Gorilla. A lot of segments in Gorilla position right before matches. That's kind of lazy if you ask me. They talk about superheroes, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I'm sorry. Look, Nikki Cross is great in the ring. I'm just not a fan of this new gimmick. I don't care what anybody says. I'm just not a fan of this new gimmick because of the fact that it's 2021. Now, granted, in any company, I don't think this should be only geared towards WWE. This should be geared towards any wrestling promotion out there. There are some stupid gimmicks, and a lot of people, say that, oh, you shit on Nikki Cross, but you like Luchasaurus. The thing about Luchasaurus is the fact that Luchasaurus, makes fun of the fact that he is a dinosaur. Not only that, he talks about how he has a master's degree, all that stuff. It's kind of treated as a joke, but at the same time, in the ring, he's really good. Now, granted, Nikki Cross is awesome in the ring. I just think, a superhero, they're feeding her a lot of lines. And I feel like with Luchasaurus, they're just letting Luchasaurus be Luchasaurus. In WWE's case, they're just, when it comes to Nikki Cross's or Nikki Ash's character, basically what they're doing is just, okay, we're going to give you these lines and we're going there on out. They're just giving her lines so she can say, in my opinion. But, I'm just not a fan of this new gimmick. It's really cringe if you ask me. But, hey, it is what it is. All right, we got Asuka versus Naomi versus Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross. What are my thoughts on this match? This was an okay match. It was not the best match in the world, but Let's see. So it was better than last week's match. I will say that. Last week's tag team match was one of the worst matches I have ever seen, and I say that from the heart. I did not like that. I think it was an 8-man tag team match that we saw last week, and usually I don't remember things from Raw, mainly because of the fact that Raw is so uninteresting to the point where you just don't feel like watching the show and you just want to change the channel. At least with SmackDown, yes, it has its flaws the same way that Raw does, but at the same time, I mean, like, I do think that SmackDown is not a bad show to the point where it will have me change the channel. On Raw's case, I'm sorry, this show makes you change the channel on every freaking level, man. But, I mean, this match was not as bad as last. I mean, I will say this match would be pretty good. But last week's match was really terrible because you saw Eva Marie get a lot of offense or start, at least trying to wrestle, and she did not look good at all in the ring. Her footwork was really bad. That's just my opinion. All right, but Naomi and Alexa Bliss start. We got a crossbody by Bliss. We got a cover in day 1 count. Asuka again with a right hand. Well, not again with the right hand. She hits a right hand. We got a pin attempt by Cross. We got a near fall. We got a roll up by Naomi by Cross. Asuka and Naomi fight it out after that. We got a couple right hands by Asuka. Naomi misses a kick. Then Asuka misses a kick. Both Asuka and Naomi kick each other after that. Cross slaps Bliss after that, when they're both just like staring off, which is cringe. We got a drop kick by Cross. Eva Marie and Doudrop come out after that. We got a drop kick by Naomi. Asuka takes out Naomi. We got a DDT by Bliss on Asuka. We got a cover and day near fall. Doudrop and Bliss face off outside, but Bliss leaves her alone. Screams at Eva, cringe. Clothesline by Doudrop and drops Alexa over the barricade. Now, granted, this is no DQ, so really anything can happen. Eva looks over the barricade and no one is there. So, okay, this is the part where it was bad. I didn't like this part of the match. Kicks by Asuka back from commercial break. We got a German suplex by Asuka and Naomi. We got a hip attack by Asuka in the corner. We got a cover by Asuka and a near fall on Cross. We got a cover on Naomi and a near fall. We got an enziguri by Naomi. Takes Asuka headfirst onto the turnbuckle. Drops Cross to the mat. We got a belly to back suplex by Naomi on Asuka. Naomi leg drops Asuka on Cross at the same time. So she hits a leg drop on both. We got a cover and a near fall. We got a springboard enziguri by Naomi, which was actually a really good spot. We got a cover and a near fall. Cross goes to the top, drops Naomi. We got a cover and a near fall when Asuka makes the save. Roll up by Naomi and a near fall. Applies the submission on Cross. Asuka comes in and applies an arm bar on Naomi. Cross drops Asuka. Cross goes to the top and hits a crossbody on Asuka. We get a cover and a near fall when Naomi comes in. We get a kick by Naomi. We get a code breaker by Asuka. We get a near fall. Then, again with the roll up and a near fall. Roll up by Cross on Asuka. And after Asuka tried to apply the Asuka lock, wins the match. So, Nikki Cross wins the match. What are my thoughts? I mean, Nikki Cross has been pinning everybody. They've been booking Nikki Cross, who is in this lame gimmick, and she pinned people like Shayna Baszler. Like, if you want to see that WWE is completely out of touch with things, just look at Nikki Cross in a freaking superhero outfit pinning Shayna Baszler, the former, not the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion, mainly because of the fact that Asuka was the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion, but one of the longest reigning NXT Champions, that being Shayna Baszler, was pinned by Nikki Cross. Not only that, Alexa Bliss also pinned Shayna Baszler, which was the worst thing you could possibly do. But a lot of the supernatural stuff I do not think is going to be flying with fans. That's why I do think WWE is struggling with ticket sales, especially for Raw, because of the fact that Raw as a show sucks. At least SmackDown is selling out. I do not hear any story at all of Raw actually selling out their shows. Like, I just heard a story that literally AEW is beating out WWE in the New York market. That is insane. But, I mean, at least SmackDown, they're doing... It's not a bad show. I do think SmackDown is not that bad of a show, but Raw, man, it's the worst show in the history of this planet. It's the worst show ever. And I'm not saying that because everybody else is saying it. It's like legit a really bad show. All right. The Viking Raiders backstage on their match tonight. Ivar is talking about his partner AJ Styles. We get blah, blah, blah. I do not care. They basically state that they will win the Raw Tag titles. Let's be straight up. So, yeah. After that, we got After that, let's see. Crap, I messed up my notes. My bad. We get AJ Styles versus Ivar. AJ basically cuts a promo and says he needs to get something off his chest. Says that he said some things that the Raiders were offended, and says that they were hairy barbarians that come after the Raw Tag Team Championships. I'm sorry if I messed up. Literally, my notes got messed up at all times because of the time difference. I tend to get tired and just write whatever. Says that they caused AJ the opportunity to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and says that they will break Ivar's legs into the Cap Crusher. Says that Omos will have his own singles match on Raw, and says that they will beat the Viking Raiders at Money in the Bank. So we got AJ Styles versus Ivar. The match starts. We'll get a couple right hands by Ivar. Drops on AJ in the corner. We get a cover and a 1 count. Shoulder tackle by Ivar. Omos tries to interfere. We get a drop kick in the back of Ivar. We get a DDT by Styles. We get a cover and a near fall. A chin lock. Ivar escapes. We get a back body drop. After that, we get a crossbody splash by Ivar. Ivar then proceeds to hit the clothesline. Then we get a cover and a near fall. Styles then hits a sunset flip. We get a Pele kick by Styles after that. Ivar drops on AJ from the top and pins the Raw Tag Team Champions. One half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, AJ Styles. What are my thoughts? Okay, they're your Tag Team Champions, and they got pinned on television. Not only that, you're going to have the Viking Raiders versus AJ and Omos for the Raw Tag Team titles at Money in the Bank. So why are you having a singles match? Lazy booking. I mean, I do not know why they do stuff like this. They do this to kill time, mainly because they know for a fact that they're lazy and they do not feel like putting anything on television that's compelling. That's my opinion. All right. We get Eric versus Omos after that. So we get the match starts. Eric tries to German suplex Omos. Omos throws Eric across the ring. We get a couple kicks by Eric. Omos picks up Eric. Eric escapes and hits a couple kicks. Omos works on Eric, drops Eric. Eric counters with repeated rights into the corner. Omos kicks Eric, and then he plants Eric after that and basically win the match. What are my thoughts? I do not care. It's really lazy booking, in my opinion. The booking on this show is absolutely horrible. I mean, like, really, you're booking a match with AJ and Ivar, and also another match with Eric and Omos, and then you're gonna have them both. You're gonna have both teams face off at the pay-per-view. I mean, you're basically giving away the whole match on live television if you look at it from a perspective. I mean, you're giving away the whole match. Now, granted, does anybody care about that match? No, but like, still, like. If look, again, if the WWE Network did not exist and you had to pay $50 for this show, I mean, come on now. I mean, the consumer would be pissed off because you're basically giving away the match. Now, granted, they're two separate matches, but you're technically giving away the whole match for the pay-per-view. I don't know, man. These people do not know what they're doing. The booking is atrocious. We get Sheamus arguing with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville about the title that he may have. Woods and Kingston are backstage with the Lucha House Party. They basically congratulate them. All of a sudden, an interview comes in out of nowhere and talks about how Woods beat Lashley. It says that he will, and then Kofi Kingston basically cuts a promo talking about how he will beat Bobby Lashley and become the two-time WWE champion at Money in the Bank. Those are one of the matches that I'm looking forward to. Of course, Lashley versus the two main events, Lashley versus Kingston, and also Edge versus Roman Reigns. Edge versus Roman Reigns, we all know Roman Reigns is going over, but Lashley and Kingston, I don't know what's probably going to happen. I mean, I assume that Lashley will most likely retain the title, because there were reports that saying, maybe Brock Lesnar may not be at SummerSlam, but I tend to differ. I do think that he will most likely be at SummerSlam. Same way I think that John Cena will be at SummerSlam, and he will face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. That is a match I really want to see, John Cena versus Roman Reigns. I don't care what anybody says. That match is going to be awesome. I don't care what anybody says. We've seen that match before, but I like the fact that, we're going to be getting that match with the heel Roman Reigns this time. All right, we get Sheamus versus Humberto Carrillo for the U.S. title. I remember they had this match booked over and over again on Raw to the point where they didn't even have the match. Humberto wants to wrestle even if he's hurt, mainly because of the fact that Sheamus attacked Humberto Carrillo before the match even started. So the match starts. Humberto comes in, and he is selling his injury. And we get a bro kick by Sheamus, and we get a cover, and Sheamus retains the title. Yeah, that was a title match, guys. A title match. Granted, it's for the U.S. title, so it's a mid-card title, but, like, if you're getting a title match on television, you assume that match is going to be really good. But no, that match ended with just a bro kick and a 1-2-3, and that's it. Like, how is that possible? How is that possible, bro? That makes absolutely no sense. You're booking a title match on television. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I'm comparing this to the world title. Could you imagine if you had the world title on the line? I mean, I definitely do think that WWE would do something like this. They'd have the world title on the line and make a booking decision like this. This is WCW type booking. I guarantee that. This is WCW stuff right here. I mean, I know it's only for a mid-card title like the U.S. title, but, like, I mean, come on now. Really? That makes absolutely no freaking sense. All right, Ricochet and Riddle backstage. Ricochet is basically talking about Money in the Bank. He's excited about it. Both talk about Money in the Bank. Riddle is basically typical Riddle, and basically just he's cutting a promo like he's high. Riddle talks about winning the Money in the Bank. Ricochet is talking about winning the Money in the Bank contract and says that he would cash in and win the Raw Tag Team titles. That being Riddle. So Ricochet is just talking about winning the contract, and Riddle's talking about, hey, he would cash it in on the tag team champions and, be the tag team champions with Randy Orton. They still got that whole RK Bro thing going on. Then Miz and Morrison come in and spray Riddle and Ricochet and run off. I'm not going to lie. I kind of got a little bit of a laugh on that, but at the same time, it was funny because it was stupid. I mean, shit, like stuff like this, come on. Like, shit like this is really stupid. But whatever. We get Ricochet versus John Morrison for like the third time in a row. At this point, it's a Falls Count Anywhere match, which, of course, I mean, yes, it is another freaking rematch. We've seen this match 2 weeks ago. We've seen this match twice. But I'm not going to lie, this was actually a pretty good match. So the match starts. We get a kick by Morrison. We get a right hand by Ricochet. Then we get an enziguri by Morrison. A neck breaker by Morrison on Ricochet onto the apron. We get a cover and a near fall on the outside. After that, Morrison kicks Ricochet. We get a backslide on the outside by Morrison. A near fall. We get a kick by Morrison. Then we get a roundhouse kick by Morrison on Ricochet onto the barricade. We get a cover and a near fall. Both go back in the ring. Morrison goes back to the top. Ricochet grabs Morrison after that. Hits a German suplex on Ricochet. No, on Morrison. Ricochet was the one that hit the German suplex. We get a cover and a near fall. Ricochet gets taken out on the outside. Morrison takes out Ricochet. After that, Ricochet sends Morrison into the screen. We get a 450 splash by Ricochet onto the outside from the barricade on Morrison. We get we're back from commercial break after that. Morrison grabs a ladder. After grabbing the ladder, we get a right hand by Ricochet, and then Ricochet hits a crossbody. We get a cover and a near fall. We get a right hand by Ricochet. Ricochet sends Morrison inside the ring. Miz saves Morrison from getting hit. We get a somersault by Ricochet on Morrison over the Miz on the outside. That was a dope spot. Both are on the stage after that. We get a kick by Ricochet after that. Morrison tries to suplex Ricochet. Ricochet hits a Hurricane Rana on the stage. Cover and a near fall. Miz tries to go onto the stage with the wheelchair, but is having trouble. Both Morrison and Ricochet after that are in Gorilla. We get a running knee by Ricochet. We get a cover and a near fall. Morrison and Ricochet go back to the stage. We get a boot by Ricochet. Ricochet tries to take Morrison down the stage. After that, Ricochet and Morrison are in the ring. Miz sprays the freaking drip stick, which was really stupid. Morrison rolls up. We get a near fall. We get a cover again and a near fall. Riddle comes in and takes Morrison upside down. We get an elbow by John Morrison. A couple drops by Ricochet. Kick by Ricochet. Drops Morrison through the ladder, which was a really awesome spot, by the way. Morrison just went through the ladder. And Ricochet pins Morrison and wins the match. What are my thoughts? This was a pretty good match. I hated the fact that it was another freaking rematch because this is the third time we've seen this match. But, of course, Ricochet, I mean, who's going to fault Ricochet? This guy is extremely talented. Ricochet is awesome. Same as John Morrison, especially at his age. John Morrison is really good in the ring. But, of course, it was another freaking rematch. Now, granted, it was a Falls Count Anywhere match, so it was a little bit different, but at the same time, it's with the same freaking wrestlers. We've seen this match for the third time in a row, and I am not surprised if we see this match again next week in front of fans. All right, Tamina and Natalya backstage basically talk about, whatever, and then Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose come in and just talk trash. Actually, Mandy Rose actually returned to NXT this past Tuesday, so who knows what's going to happen. Do you think Dana Brooke is going to be on her own? I do think Dana Brooke is probably going to be on her own, considering the fact that Mandy Rose is now in NXT. It was a trade. I believe the main roster got Aaliyah. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, I mean, what are my thoughts? I mean, that came out of nowhere, but, hey, it is what it is. So, after that, we get a match with Rhea Ripley and Natalya. This was not a bad match, of course. Rhea Ripley is going to go up against Charlotte at Money in the Bank. What are my thoughts on that match? Charlotte is going to go over whether you like it or not. Do I like it? No, but like the way that WWE has been booking Rhea Ripley, I mean, I don't think Rhea Ripley is going to be over in my opinion, considering the fact that, you know, she has a lot, like her promos are kind of cringe. I don't want to be disrespectful to Rhea Ripley, but like I'm not that big of a fan of her promos. I mean, it's not really her fault. It's WWE because they just constantly just overscript everything, and I feel like Rhea Ripley is a perfect example of that. But back to the match. During the match, we got a drop kick by Natalya. Ripley counters into a leg submission. After that, Natalya rolls through, but Rhea takes her back. We get a roll up by Natalya. Natalya tries to roll up, but instead applies the sharpshooter submission. Rhea takes Natalya to the bottom rope. We get an enziguri by Rhea Ripley. We get a riptide by Ripley, and Ripley wins the match. What are my thoughts? Okay, it was a great match, blah, blah, blah. I really just did not care about this match at all, and everybody knows Charlotte is going to be the new Raw Women's Champion coming in to Money in the Bank, and we're going to see her in front of fans as champion next week on Raw. All right, the VIP Lounge, which I thought was a really good segment. This was a really, really awesome segment. So MVP comes in with all the women with champagne and everything and introduces Bobby Lashley. Lashley comes out. He comes to the ring, and he's pissed. He literally has a pissed-off face. And Lashley takes the mic away. He just snatches it away and says that he's said enough and asks the women gently to leave and he basically wants to talk to MVP alone. He talks about Kofi Kingston, and he was basically saying that he was thinking about everything that Kofi was saying and says that Kofi was right. He was right about everything. Says that he lost to Xavier Woods. Now he is furious right now. Says MVP is trying to cheer him up with champagne and women, and he appreciates everything that MVP was doing. And the best line of this entire segment was, "This bullshit needs to stop now." Yes, he actually said bullshit on Raw. Surprising, right? But that was really cool to see. You know, you gotta get some edge when it comes to the WWE product, and I feel like there was a little bit of an edge on this segment, which I enjoyed. This bullshit needs to stop right now. It says MVP, after that, says they need to be back in business, and says the only goal is to try to destroy every soul that tries to take his title away from him. Lashley, after that, just trashes the VIP Lounge. He turns to Kofi, and he's talking to the hard cam and just talking about Kofi Kingston. Says that he's going to tear Kofi in half, and says that he's going to go in Money in the Bank, the almighty WWE Champion, and he's going to go out Money in the Bank as the almighty WWE Champion. It says that he hopes Kofi brings his friends and family and the WWE Universe to have his back because he's going to dismantle him. Ouch. It says that he better fight for his life. It says that he's going to put him in a box and send it into the surface with the rest of the world clowns. So is his career. So basically he says that the surface is dead and so is his career. What are my thoughts? I kind of messed up the last portion, but he basically says that the surface was dead, so is his career, and that was his closing lines in his promo. What are my thoughts? This was a really good segment. Usually when it comes to matches, when it comes to main events, like they're typically matches, but in this case it was a closing segment, and that has been the case on Raw for like the past week or two. But I will say this was a really good segment. It gets me more hyped for Lashley and Kofi Kingston coming in to Money in the Bank this Sunday. I will applaud WWE for at least trying to make this match important, because I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed the past few weeks of television regarding Kofi Kingston, MVP, and Bobby Lashley. That was like the only good thing besides Roman Reigns and Edge that I really enjoyed. And that was like really the only thing I enjoyed on Raw, to be quite honest. I mean, Kofi Kingston cuts really good promos, MVP as well. Bobby Lashley, in this case, he kind of went in on his own in a way in this promo. But I'm really excited to see what happens down the road. Who do I think is going to win at Money in the Bank? I still have my hopes up that Lashley's going to be retaining. This is one of those matches that it can go either way. But I do think that we're going to have the match with Lesnar and Lashley for the WWE title at SummerSlam. So, yeah, that was my review for Raw from July 12th, 2021. Overall thoughts, this was a pretty terrible show. The only good thing was Bobby Lashley, MVP, and that's it. But, yeah, the rest of the show is pretty garbage in my opinion. But, we got fans coming back on the road, so will that change? I doubt it. But, hey, at least we got fans back, and we do not have to see the ThunderDome finally or hopefully ever again. Because, look, the ThunderDome looks nice and all, but, I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm tired of hearing just fake chants because a lot of the stuff that they put in the ThunderDome as the chants, fans do not chant those. They don't chant Drew, 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 Drew. They chant other stuff. They chant other stuff, trust me, especially in cities like Chicago. But, hey, that's besides the point. Of course, Friday is going to be the first SmackDown with live fans. And, of course, next week we're going to have – this Sunday we got Money in the Bank. And then we got Raw next week. And after this review, I'm going to be filming my Fyter Fest review, which I thought was an amazing show. But, yeah, please like, subscribe, comment down below, push that bell for notifications. Please follow me on social media on Twitter and Instagram. That's on the layout and on the description below. And this is Broken Havoc from the Broken Havoc podcast. Signing out.